Coming up on this week's episode of Flash Talk, Kent State men's hoops head coach Rob Senderoff talks about heading into the second half of MAC play. Women's hoops head man Todd Starkey talks about his team's close matchups and what they need to do to punch their ticket. Softball head coach Jess O'Donnell talks about the upcoming start of the season. Finally, Kent State associate head coach for track and field Michael Schober talks about the team's great performance at Notre Dame in the indoor season ahead. All that and more coming up in a flash. Joined once again on Flash Talk by Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach, appreciate you joining me on the show once again. Coming up, obviously, just past the halfway point here in Mid-American Conference play. What have you liked most about your defense the last three games? Because there's been a significant improvement on that side of the ball.
We've gotten better defensively. We have. There's certainly areas we need to improve on that side of the ball. But from the beginning of the year to where we are now, we're defending at a higher level, trying to keep teams off the free throw line, trying to make sure that we're keeping ourselves out of rotations. We've got a better idea and a better identity defensively. Now we have to start playing on the offensive side the way we had earlier in the season. Our guard play's got to get back to where it was in November, December, and even early January. But we've got to stay consistent on that end for sure, because as has been proven in our league, to win up in Cleveland 3 straight games, at least one of those games is going to be a defensive battle. Sometimes it's all 3, but over this last month plus of the season, we've got to find our confidence a little bit on the offensive end. We've got to find our flow, and hopefully we can put it all together here as we head down the stretch.
How much tougher do things get really for all teams in MAC play, just because teams scout each other so well, and at a certain point in the season you're playing teams a second time to where you kind of know what actions they're going to run?
That's across the board. When it comes down to it, as you watch games, late in the year, you're really not tricking anybody all that much. You may steal a basket here or there. Every coach is trying to steal a basket. But players make plays, right? And you got to take care of the basketball. You got to create extra possessions, and that could be offensive rebounding, protecting the ball, or taking the ball from the other team, getting to the free throw line more than the other team does. So certainly Rob can help in some of those areas. He and Rico, when you have 2 guys like that, it gives you the opportunity to create advantages with having teams have to double team potentially in the post, which gives you opportunities to kick out and get open threes or put teams in rotations. So, as you move forward in the season, the scouting becomes harder. The ability to sort of trick other teams into stealing baskets becomes a little bit more difficult. So your players have to step up and make plays, and some of those plays are making simple plays and making the easy read, and just consistently doing what you've worked on in practice and what we've been coaching throughout the year, and then executing those things in crunch time minutes. So we've worked on all these things here, and as we head down towards the stretch, we've got to lock in. Taking care of the basketball has been a problem for us on offense, and we have to continue to work and trust each other and get better at these little things moving forward, because the little things become big things.
Among Mid-American Conference teams and number 1 in conference play in rebounding margin, you had 24 offensive rebounds against the school down the road last Friday. How much of an advantage can that give you if you guys are that active on the glass the rest of the season?
One thing is if you make a lot of shots, you don't have to rebound as much, right? So our activity on the glass, it gives you a chance when you're not shooting the ball well. So, our mindset has always been that, if you get a shot, you have the opportunity to go rebound. If you don't take care of the basketball, you can't rebound. You can't rebound a turnover. You can't score on a turnover. I mean, that's pretty simple, but you have to get shots on the glass. At times, your best offense can be a missed shot when you have size and physicality like we do. And then you have to finish plays around the rim. You have to finish. You have to get N1s. You have to get kick out threes. Um, there's things, offensively that we work on all the time that are just simple concepts that, we got to continue to work on those and continue to believe in what we're doing. And as we continue to do those things, the success will follow. Our transition on offense has to continue to get better as well. So there's things we've been practicing here over the last few weeks to try to get back to playing offensively the way we had been earlier in the year. But at the same time, and you started the show asking me about our defensive improvement, if we can stay committed on that end of the ball and continue to have the improvement that we've shown and growth that we've shown there, and combine that with playing where we were offensively, I think there's some bright days ahead of us for our team, and that's where we're focused on here for these last few weeks of the regular season, and hoping to carry that into March.
Flashes will be back home February 11th on Wednesday at 7 p.m. against Eastern Michigan. Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach Sendy, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Golden Flashes fans, it's time to lock in your seats. Single game tickets for Kent State men's and women's basketball MAC games are now available. Come out to one of the best mid-major environments in all of college basketball, with championship coaches leading the way. Head to ksutix.com to watch all of the action. That's ksutix.com to watch your Golden Flashes battle it out in conference play. Hope to see you there, and go Flashes! Joined once again on Flash Talk by Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey. Coach, your team was able to execute very well on Sunday offensively against Ball State. What did you like most about that side of the ball? Deanna Gray and Maya Babbitt both played very well.
The biggest thing was that we stayed aggressive throughout the game. That's one of the things that we've been talking about, is really trying to get to the free throw line, stay aggressive, don't pass up good shots. I loved how aggressive Maya was, especially early. I thought Deanna played with a lot of poise and a lot of control. I mean, it would have been great for her to get one more rebound, one more assist, to have an incredible triple-double against one of the best teams in the league. But what a great game, 23, 9, and 9, only 4 turnovers. Maya shot the ball well, was incredibly efficient on the offensive side of things. And it was good to see Caitlin Holmes come off the bench for 11 points and 4 steals. Obviously, I would have liked us to be significantly more rigid on the defensive side, but you got to give Ball State a lot of credit for how efficient they were offensively as well.
Something I noticed in that game, you clearly wanted to push the pace and go fast. Was that more of a game plan thing, or is that something you really want to do moving forward?
I mean, we always want to play with some level of pace and tempo and really try and create easy shots for ourselves in transition. I think that was more of a matter of how the game just kind of evolved, right? And sometimes a game's narrative takes on a life of its own a little bit. I thought Ball State was playing with a tremendous amount of pace and tempo, and we kind of had to match that. Like I said, we were trying to switch up defenses throughout the game. We probably used 4 or 5 different defenses in that game, whether the outside fan recognized that or not. We even jumped into a box and one for a few possessions to try and slow things down, but really kind of to no avail. Our zone gave them a little bit of pause, but not for long. And so, it's they're a good team. They have all their players healthy, and we don't. That's been the ongoing narrative. But I'm really proud of the way our players are continuing to fight, and I think it was a good sign to see us not give in when we went down 18. We fought back and made that game very interesting.
It seems like your team is really settling into some lineups. I know you've had injuries throughout the season. Do you feel like this team has come together even more throughout the last couple months?
Yeah, the most lineup changes, the most different starting lineups that I've ever used in my career as a head coach this season. And it's still kind of the case, just kind of figuring out what works. We've had players that go out for a short period of time and then back in the lineup, and then as players are developing during the season, giving them some opportunities. So it's nice to see our consistent effort We got to get a little smarter in some certain situations, and we got to execute a game plan, especially defensively, on a higher level. But ultimately, this group has not given in, and definitely pleased to see that.
Big one on Wednesday against Bowling Green. You played this team in the MAC opener over a month ago, so a lot has changed. Both teams have improved. Tell me about that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, they're all big at this point, as we say. It's February basketball now, and so the biggest thing is we want to focus on Bowling Green to the level that's important for us to focus on them, because they're our opponent. We respect them, and obviously we lost to them at their place. But the bigger focus needs to be on our continued improvement, right? I think a lot of that starts on the defensive side of the basketball, and we've got to get a little bit more rigid in that area. But overall, I mean, just our continued focus on getting better as we move through February. But time starts to run out a little bit, and you got to start playing at a high level here and quick.
What have you learned about this team throughout the past month, or is there anything that you've learned about yourself coaching this year's group?
There's no time for self-reflection. What are you talking about?
Maybe after the season, Coach, but
no, I think pretty much with this group, it's that they care about each other, and they really want to continue to get better. I think it's been nice to see, in spite of losing more than this program is used to. I think this team has continued to try and keep a positive, upbeat attitude throughout that. I've tried to keep that going as well. You don't always get what you want in life, and sometimes it's more about being given the opportunity to be tested and see how you respond. And so that's kind of where we are right now, and like to continue to see consistent positive response to this regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah. A great word to describe your teams over the past few years, and including this year, or really throughout your entire Kent State coaching tenure, is battle tested. Battle tested this year, battle tested in the non-con. If you guys are able to punch your ticket to Cleveland, how much do you think being battle tested will help you guys?
You're not going to see something in Cleveland that you haven't seen before, and so maybe there's some advantage to that. I think you only get better through significant tests. Like we always talk about, as an individual player, you get better by playing with and against better players than you, and I think the same is true of a season. So us having a tough non-conference schedule, battling through a lot of the injuries and sickness that we have, gives us the opportunity for growth, and we just have to try and take advantage of that.
Kent State Women's Hoops head coach Todd Starkey. Coach, thanks for the time.
Sounds good. Go Flashes.
Golden Flashes fans, it's time to lock in your seats. Single game tickets for Kent State men's and women's basketball MAC games are now available. Come out to one of the best mid-major environments in all of college basketball, with championship coaches leading the way. Head to ksutix.com to watch all of the action. That's ksutix.com to watch your Golden Flashes battle it out in conference play. Hope to see you there, and go Flashes. Looking to revamp your home? Let Fair Painters, owned by Kent State football legend Brian Winters, tackle the job. From flawless interior painting to precise drywall repair and stunning cabinet refinishing, we've got you covered. Our local team in Streetsboro ensures top quality craftsmanship, fast service, and a 10% discount for veterans. Make your home look its best with the pros you can trust. Visit fairpainters.com or call 888-602-3247 for your free estimate today. Fair Painters, where fair meets quality. Joined on Flash Talk by Kent State softball head coach Jessica O'Donnell. Coach, really appreciate you joining me here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Season's coming up, starting this Saturday. Wofford tournament down in South Carolina. Describe to me how excited you are.
Over the moon excited. I mean, just to be able to be outside, I think this will be the first time that we can actually play on dirt, see the ball off the bat in air, other than just being inside the whole time. So I think I think they said weather-wise looks like 45 degrees. I'm like, that's going to feel like 70 in this late summertime for us after being in negative. So I think we're just excited to be outside, play together, play anyone but our own team, see us kind of compete together and come together as a team. We have a very young team. So with that being said, it's just getting them sort of playing together, being comfortable with each other, understanding how they move, just different things, little quirky things that you have throughout the year and the ebbs and flows, and getting them as comfortable as possible. And then just being able to play outside. It's just exciting.
You mentioned a young team, 8 freshmen to be exact. What are you expecting out of that young group? And you were talking to me before, how do you try and ease their nerves into their first ever college softball games coming up this weekend?
Trying to change the perspective of I'm nervous to I'm excited. And I think we've been talking a lot about excitement, how excited we are to be playing and having this great opportunity, having kind of a grateful mindset of, man, for the last 3 weeks we've been inside and now we get to be outside and see the sun and hopefully the sun. And again, just different, an umpire and being on a field, things you kind of take for granted, but being up here in the north, it's cold and we couldn't get outside. So it's just, I think just it's perspective. It's being able to say, we get to do this. And how awesome is this? You get to, as a freshman, be starting on a Division I team potentially. And how awesome that really is compared to maybe some other schools that maybe don't have that situation where they maybe only have one freshman that might be in the lineup. We're looking at a lot of different combinations and situations. So what a great opportunity they have to start to develop young and really just embrace it.
But I know you have 2 first years in that pitching staff and how you're expecting to improve in that area of the game in 2026.
Obviously 2 freshmen, newcomers. They're both unique in their own special way. Meadow Fairies has basically can mix anywhere around. Has a really nice curve, a little bit of a drop curve, can pitch inside, has a nice change up for a strike, which is great. All of our pitchers are a little bit different in what they give. So that's perfect when you're looking at 5 games in a weekend and how you're going to do the matchups and things like that. Yeah. We have Riley Miller, another freshman who has experienced so much championship experience from high school. So coming in here, starting as a freshman is not going to be anything new for her. It's kind of in her wheelhouse. So as long as we can keep them healthy and comfortable and knowing that, hey, this is a little different than high school and you're going to be pitching and trying to build up the capacity and playing in such a short amount of time and figuring out weeks and stuff. It's neat. You know, she has her best pitch is probably her drop curve. So we're just excited for the variety of pitchers and what they do. We have a transfer in Alina Hilliard who has an amazing changeup. Drop ball's nasty. I think we're just excited to have variety. We have Abby Poche who's coming back off an injury. So hopefully we'll get her here soon in the season to have just a different look. And then Ella Johnson returning from freshman year last year. I think it's exciting seeing how excited she is to want to get it back out there and kind of now that she has a year under her belt, just the experience and the sort of, she almost has a vet mentality for as much as she pitched last year. So we're excited for her and we're excited for a whole pitching staff and just a variety of how they throw and the ability to put different matchups against teams.
Yeah, this is a team in MAC play last season that hit the ball pretty darn well. And so who are some players that you're really excited about in the lineup?
I'd be hard pressed if I didn't mention Bryn Libler. She being our only 4-year player to come through the program and stay through 4 years. I think that says a lot about her loyalty to the program and Kent State and me. I'm excited for her and how she's embraced sort of me and our coaching philosophy and just worked so hard. She did so well last year. Kendall Leitner, another one that just had an outstanding offensive performance, came in as more of a pitcher, but we've really seen her grow on the offensive side and just embrace opportunity, which I think was nice for her. I'm really excited about, Erilyn Nogue being probably at the top of the lineup, getting on base, speed, stolen bases, things like that. And there's as much ground as she covers in the outfield. But one I'm really excited about is Callie Chalice. I think you'll hear her name a lot. She's really impressed me just from an all-around perspective. She's a catcher. She's got great arm. Offensively, she's doing really well in practice. Really just tough-minded. You'll never be able to tell whether she's having a great day or an off day. She is so even-keeled and just a tough player. She's a local kid. She graduated from
Jesuit.
Yeah, just a hometown kid that's excited to come and represent her home. And, we're excited to have her. And there's a lot of really great things. Gabby Quinn, she'll be getting some time. She's really, really strong, worked really hard, really embraced her opportunities. I can go around and say something nice about everyone. May Claire Hout's always been really consistent for us. And, now she has an opportunity to kind of step into that first base role more in a full-time position. And if we can keep everybody healthy, she's exciting. She's really taken on a leadership role as a junior. So, and we have transfer Ashlyn Porter from Campbell. Man, she didn't really get a whole lot of opportunities at Campbell, but can she hit the ball? She's definitely the strongest hitter I've seen in a really long time. So just being able to work with these different players and bring their philosophies in here and work with us and get to coach them and just the excitement of coming to practice every day to see them want to get better has been fun.
Really excited to see you guys battle it out in South Carolina this weekend. Kent State softball head coach Jessica O'Donnell. Coach, good luck this season.
Thanks so much.
Coming up this week in Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSU Ticks. The Doug Raymond Invitational takes place inside Kent, Ohio, Friday and Saturday the 6th and the 7th at home for men's and women's track and field. Softball opens their 2026 season in the Wofford Tournament, competing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Women's lacrosse opens their season at Lindenwood for a 2 p.m. start in the state of Missouri, and wrestling is in the Mack Center on Friday night for a 7 p.m. start against conference rival, the Ohio Bobcats. On Saturday, the Mack Sun Belt Challenge for men's and women's basketball. Women's basketball is inside the Mack Center for a 1 p.m. tip-off against App State, and men's basketball hits the road. They play Southern Miss for a 2 p.m. start. Finally, on Sunday, gymnastics has a tri-meet in Muncie, Indiana against conference rival Ball State and Illinois State. As always, you can buy your tickets at ksutix.com. If you want more info on your favorite Flashes teams, visit kentstatesports.com or go to the Go Flashes app. We'll be back with more right after this.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court, when you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here. For our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels, our sports medicine team helps keep you in the game. With expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Joined here on Flash Talk by Kent State Track and Field Associate Head Coach Michael Schober. Coach Schober, appreciate you joining me on Flash Talk.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the events that you coach were very successful in your guys' most recent meet at Notre Dame. Just how satisfied were you with all of your athletes' performances?
Yeah, I thought they competed really well this weekend. We are kind of in a really high-load training block, so to see some good performances out of them this weekend was great. It shows that we're in a good spot and we're ready to roll when we start to unload here soon.
You mentioned the term high load training block for those that don't necessarily follow the sport.
Yeah.
What does that mean, and why is there a high load training block during this time?
Track's a really weird sport where, you practice and you train more than you compete. Our high level athletes might only compete a total of 6 times throughout a season. And you try to line some things up with training with that. So for us, like the week before was really, really a lot of training, high loads, a lot of sprinting, a lot of volume of training. And then we do like a unload week, which was last week. And typically the week after that's where you see some really good performances. So excited for our home meet this weekend to kind of put on a show.
The 60-meter hurdles, a lot of success, a handful of top 3 finishes there. You told me before off the show that you guys have a good little group. How excited are you to see those athletes compete in that event the rest of the year?
And they work really well together. When you have a bunch of talented athletes pushing each other every day, you're going to see some really great things. The men have developed really well over the years. Most of them are multi-event athletes, so they get to push each other every day. But I think the biggest thing with that group, they're kind of a family. They work hard together. They support each other. Honestly, they help coach each other a little bit. I'm really blessed to have a really good student assistant that kind of helps with navigating them a bit too, because I coach a lot of events. So he's there just keeping an eye on them a lot of the time. So yeah, great group. And it's still pretty young. I mean, we basically have everyone coming back next year.
One of those multis who did well in the hurdles was Aiden Bath. Describe to me his development having to do so many events, and where has he grown the most?
Honestly, he's grown mentally. He's a super talented athlete. He's a student of the game. He's one of the best you want. These are the kids that Aiden's someone you dream of as a coach. You can coach him up, you can do whatever you want with him, but ultimately, like, he kind of figures things out on his own. So when I say that in coaching, is my goal every day is to not really say a whole lot of practice. I give him the toolbox. I give them all tools. They have to put the tools in the right place in the toolbox. So, and Aiden's one of the best at that. And I think where he really has grown is the heptathlon decathlon is 2 days of just a grind. You have to learn to bounce back. You have to learn to control emotions throughout the 2 days. I think that's where Aiden has really grown in the past year. And he's a great leader on the team. I think that's a big thing too when it comes to track and field is once you can kind of put the performance part like on the back end and grow as a person, you start to grow as an athlete and you start to see those better performances. our sport's just really weird with that. Just
Yeah.
especially because it's a performance sport, right? So it's embarrassing when you lose. You know, it's like I can compare it to wrestling and swimming. If
It's very individualized.
yes, exactly. You get beat, it's embarrassing. But at the end of the day, like if you can kind of move forward mentally and prepare yourself, you're gonna have a lot more wins than losses.
Another home meet coming up this weekend. What are some of the improvements that you're looking for? What are some of the things that you're looking to see grow, whether it's a specific athlete or a certain event this weekend?
We're letting some people actually open up now. We have some young freshmen that haven't ran yet. Super excited to see them run in their main events. Starting to see some of the people that have been running off events run their main events. This weekend, really excited for the multi, especially on the women's end. We have a really good group. Shelby obviously returning from outdoor nationals. There's some young people that people don't really know about that we're super excited about. And then on the men's side too is like, you know, can Aiden get his mark? You know, Joel's on the bubble of getting a national mark. We have a young freshman, Jack, who's a phenom that people will start to know about here. That does a really good job. And then we have two other younger multis that have worked real hard and done a great job. So like for me, I'm super excited about that event. Seeing Amari and Luigi go at it again in the long jump will be fun. Yeah, Luigi just came, I say off the boat, but he just came over from Italy at mid-year and he's getting adjusted a bit. Carson and Dylan also in the 800. I'm super excited for. I think the team in general, just so excited to see them compete at home, be a family like they have been, and grow. This group has just been awesome.
Excited to watch you guys in the indoor season the rest of the way. That's Kent State Track and Field Associate Head Coach Michael Schober. Coach, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Flash Talk. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll continue more Kent State men's and women's basketball talk, as well as we'll intro the start of spring sports. For our entire GFTV studio, Ethan Lachinsky, Justin Spots, I'm Dane Richardson saying good night and go Flashes. Attention Golden Flash fans, when it's time to make your next big move, choose the team that's officially in your corner. Green Lending, the exclusive mortgage partner of Kent State Athletics. Right now, when you mention Kent State, Green Lending will cover your appraisal, helping you save money from the very start. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, refinancing, or tapping into your home's equity, Green Lending delivers personalized service, expert guidance, and a transparent mortgage process. Make a winning move off the court. Visit greenlending.com, mention Kent State, and let Green Lending help you upgrade your home ownership experience.
Hi, I'm Marcus Leto. I'm the co-creator of the Halo universe and the creator of the Master Chief. Kent State really taught me to think like a designer, not just to build visuals, but to build worlds. I mean, that was all this fire in my belly that I just wanted to kind of create something that was different. The program here really helped give me the tools to enter the workforce, and I still look back to Kent State as a foundation that allows me now to do the kind of stuff that I can do.